A very good morning to you and welcome to NewsDesk. My name is Shilasechi. On our desk this morning, Ghana's roads have turned deadlier in 2025, with crashes claiming thousands of lives and leaving many more permanently injured between January and November. We'll bring you the data and hear from some road users as broken guardrails and falling poles turn Accra-Achimota highway into an accident risk zone.
These damaged rails cause numerous accidents, and when they become crooked, scrap dealers exploit the situation by stealing them.
Also, NAIMOS arrests 5 Chinese nationals during a raid on illegal mining sites at Accra-Achimota in the eastern region. The operation also led to the seizure of excavators, vehicles and mining equipment as authorities intensify efforts to protect major water bodies. But what has been the impact of NAIMOS activities? We'll find out. Greater Accra records 20 domestic fires daily. We'll hear from the Ghana National Fire Service on some preventive measures.
Some businesses have never come back to life, all because of fire. Some families have been consumed by fire.
And we're live on DSTV channel 421, Gold TV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Please stay with us for details. Thanks for your company this morning. The Accra-Achimota highway is posing a growing danger to motorists and commuters due to multiple safety hazards along the stretch. Broken guardrails, huge rocks and falling streetlight poles remain unattended, increasing the risk of avoidable accidents. Drivers who spoke to Joy News expressed concern about the exposed sections of the road, warning that the damaged guardrails leave road users vulnerable. They're calling on the Roads and Highway Authority to act swiftly to fix the hazards and restore safety on the highway. Angela Santua Mwako has more in this report.
For the regular motoring public commuting on the Accra-Achimota highway, each journey is more than a routine. It is a calculated risk. From broken guardrails to malfunctioning street lights, motorists must navigate a corridor riddled with hazards every single day. Though no official data exists on the number of lives lost directly as a result of these dangers along the stretch, national statistics paint a grim picture. More than 1,504 deaths have been recorded this year from 7,289 road crashes nationwide. Speaking to Joy News, a driver, Ebenezer Mwako, said the broken guardrails on the highway pose a significant threat, especially at night. He called on authorities to fix them as a matter of urgency.
Broken road rails pose a serious danger to drivers. Sudden braking and overtaking around these damaged rails can easily lead to accidents. I therefore urge the authorities to address this issue as a matter of urgency.
Another commercial driver, George Sebe, described the state of the guardrails as an accident waiting to happen. He added that the damaged and crooked rails have become targets for scrap dealers. He urged government to replace all broken guardrails on the highway.
When road rails break, they often fall into the middle of the road, creating serious danger, especially in the evenings when streetlights are not functioning. These damaged rails cause numerous accidents, and when they become crooked, scrap dealers exploit the situation by stealing them. I want the government to urgently fix damaged road rails to ensure driver safety.
Adding his voice, another commercial driver, Benjamin Kwesi Nyameche, said numerous potholes on the stretch force drivers into sudden maneuvers, increasing the risk of crashes.
The main road is riddled with potholes. Heavy trucks often burst their tires, and the exposed rims further damage the road surface. This affects the vehicles as well, leading to severe accidents and, in some cases, crashes into guardrails. I therefore appeal to the Minister for Roads to come to our aid.
Meanwhile, the Roads and Highway Authority say steps are being taken to address the concerns. Roland Ampieni, mentor of the Ghana Highway Authority, outlined ongoing maintenance work aimed at improving safety on the highway.
Management gave us the permission to come and maintain and work on it. And what we did, we've broken a section of the concrete. and the exposed corroded reinforcements that were exposed have been cut off, which will be replaced. Then later a new concrete will be casted to get back the retaining wall in its right shape.
Now, new official data reveal that 5,888 motorcycle crashes have occurred nationwide so far this year, claiming the lives of 1,239 people and leaving 5,113 others injured. These figures show that motorcycles now account for more than 45% of all road traffic deaths, underscoring a growing public safety challenge that spans every region of the country. What's driving the surge in fatalities and injuries, and what are authorities doing to stem the tide? Joining me on Zoom is Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba. Good morning and thanks for joining us, sir. All right, so the latest data show that motorcycle crashes alone accounted for 1,239 deaths and 5,113 injuries this year, nearly half of all road traffic fatalities. What are the primary causes identified by the NRSA for the surge in motorcycle-related deaths and injuries?
Overspeeding is one. Then you have non-compliance with road regulations is another. The third one could be attributed to the fact that these motorists or the drivers have not been given any training whilst they ply their trade. So these are the three causes I can readily mention.
All right, so given that motorcycles were previously operating largely outside formal regulation, how has the recent legalization of commercial motorcycle transport impacted enforcement and safety outcomes on the roads?
Not yet. The law has not been, it has been passed, but it has not been assented to. So the law will come into force immediately the president assents to it. Now, when the law is passed, when the law is assented to, it will bring about stiffer regulations and compliance. So, for instance, alcohol consumption, alcohol intake by drivers has been further reduced. So the amount of alcohol in a driver would reduce from 0.08% to 0.05%. That is an improvement. And so it will go a long way to check this. Then also you have a provision that talks about children below the age of 12 who are not allowed to sit in front. In the past, the current law says that children below the age of 5, but now we are increasing it to 12. So the new law would actually, the amendment will actually bring about new stiffer regulations and punishment to those who don't obey the rules.
Oh, we understand that the law hasn't been assented to, but can we, foresee any safer, strides to this?
I didn't get your question.
We understand that it hasn't been assented to. Can't we foresee any problem that it is going to cause?
No, the new law is rather going to enhance the road safety protocols. The new law or the amendment, if assented to, would improve our road safety situation. And so we look forward to it. I don't see it causing problems. It's rather going to enhance the road safety protocols, yeah.
All right. What specific enforcement strategies has the NRSA deployed in 2025 to curb reckless riding, speeding, and non-compliance with traffic laws? And how effective have these initiatives been?
I'm happy to announce that at least during the Yuletide, especially 24th, 25th, 26th, we've not heard of any major accident as compared to the previous years. That for me is a good thing. before the period of the Yuletide, we had partnered some institutions like Bloomberg to do some education, and your reporter was there. We have also partnered Zane. What we have not been able to do is to roll out a massive campaign, and this was because of lack of funding. But I'm happy to announce to you that beginning January, the road fund, which is now called Road Maintenance Trust Fund, will release some monies to us for us to engage on massive campaign, which would go into the Easter of 2026. And so these numbers we are seeing now would change drastically. And we have research that has indicated that anytime the NRSA embarks on massive road safety campaign, the numbers reduce. So we are looking forward to next year when resources will be given to us to roll out these massive campaigns.
So with regions like Eastern, South, Ashanti, and Accra among the worst affected by motorcycle crashes, what targeted interventions is the NRSA implementing in these hotspots?
So these three regions are the regions that receive the huge budget that we disperse to our regions, Greater Accra, Ashanti, and Eastern region, because majority of our, more than 50% of the accidents occur in this enclave. So we have decided that when the funds are released early next year in January, there will be a massive campaign regarding the Okada implementation. In your intro, you indicated that we have a number of accidents arising from Okada riders. So we are aware of this. So we want to target first the Okada riders, because also when the law is passed, they will begin to form unions. The Okada riders will be in unions. So we'll target their unions and provide them with road safety education. This, I think, will go a long way to regulate their conduct and behavior on the roads.
Now, the NSRA, how is the NRSA improving its crash data collection and public awareness campaigns to ensure that road users understand risk patterns and adjust their behavior accordingly?
So I'll just talk about educations. The next one has to do with that. We are currently working with the Ministry of Health, and you are talking about improved data. So we are working on Ministry of Health, the hospitals. We are also working with the police MTTD so that we can synchronize and harmonize our data. The three institutions must speak with one voice. You shouldn't go to the hospitals and they'll give you a figure which is different from what MTTD and National Road Safety have. So there is this harmonization. World Bank was providing assistance for that. But the three institutions are working together to ensure that we'll provide and turn out road safety data statistics which can be used and can be relied upon.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And that was Mr. Abraham Amaliba, who is the Director General for National Road Safety Authority. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NAIMOS, has arrested 5 Chinese nationals during a raid on illegal mining sites at Akyem Oda in the Birim Central Municipality of the Eastern region. The operation, which took place on Monday, targeted active illegal mining activities along the Birim River. The suspects were arrested while mining and washing directly into the river. 2 excavators found at the site were immobilized, while a Toyota Hilux pickup and a Toyota Land Cruiser believed to have been used by the suspects were seized. The task force also destroyed several makeshift structures at the site. along with water pumping machines and other mining equipment. NAIMOS says it will continue its festive season crackdown on illegal mining along major water bodies to prevent further pollutions. Also, NAIMOS has stormed several illegal mining sites at Hewa in the Birim Central District. The task force destroyed assorted illegal mining equipment, including makeshift structures, water pumping machines, and wooden gold washing platforms, among others. The task force has intensified its anti-Galamsey crackdown at areas currently reoccupied by the illegal miners and causing severe havoc to water bodies, forests and farmlands in complete disregard of all environmental laws and regulatory oversight. Now, Media Relations Officer for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and spokesperson for NAIMOS, Pakwesi Shandov, joins me for a review as this year wraps up. Thanks for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Now, as 2025 ends, how many illegal mining sites have been shut down nationwide?
Well, the number would exceed over 100. If you look at the entirety of NAIMOS operations from the time NAIMOS was inaugurated up to now, we have shut down over 100 mining sites. In terms of prosecutions, the update is that the prosecutions are ongoing and they are at various stages. The challenge that we have had, and I've had cause to indicate it on the same platform, that if you look at the general justice delivery system in Ghana, sometimes it's a bit tardy, it gets a bit complicated. And so in as much as on record as of now, we've arrested well over 1,300 persons suspected to be engaged in all sorts of illegal mining activities, that number is not the same as the people who have been prosecuted. But the good news is that now we are rolling out a new initiative that will take full effect from the very early part of next year. That is the creation of specialized tribunals to discharge all the cases of illegal mining that are currently in dockets and on record. And so by the end of the first quarter, we are hoping that we would have, taken all the cases through the necessary prosecutorial stages, and then we'll determine the verdicts accordingly. So in excess of 1,300 and persons have been arrested. Over 100 illegal mining sites have been shut within this particular period.
So beyond the arrest and seizures, right, what concrete progress has been made and in this year reclaiming the disregarded and polluted water bodies, especially like the Birim and Pra and Ankobra?
Well, in terms of significant progress, we are looking at earlier the situation we had where 9 forest reserves were designated as red forest zones, in the sense that they were encroached and occupied by armed illegal miners, such that even the military back then did not have access to these forests. As I speak, all of those 9 have been repossessed. In terms of land reclamation, if you look at the raft of interventions that government has rolled out from the start of the year up to now in dealing with illegal mining, in as much as land reclamation is a priority, it will take full effect from next year. Indeed, there's a whole program to ensure that all the parcels of land that have been devastated would return to their pristine nature, but only from next year. I mean, we are almost even in next year already. As for this year, the emphasis has been on the enforcement of the laws and the regulations, and that is why we've been seeing NAIMOS do the things that they do best. So for land reclamation, we can begin to measure the results from next year, God willing.
So what functions or what sanctions, if any, have been applied to public officials, traditional authorities, or licensed miners, found to be complicit in illegal mining?
Or the disposition of the Sector Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Makofibwa, is very simple. Anybody who is caught in any form of illegal mining, regardless of your profile or pedigree, the whip will be cracked accordingly. And that is why, as we speak, for instance, even though these 2 persons that I'm about to cite have separately and categorically denied their involvement, the national organizer of the NDC and the party's third national chairman are currently subjects of ongoing investigations with respect to their involvement in illegal mining. Indeed, 90% of that whole process has been completed, and very soon we'll provide the updates. And so, by way of dealing with people who have been fingered, people who are involved, the posture of the minister is that it doesn't matter who you are. Indeed, earlier I had cause to state on this platform this morning that even if the president, I'm saying it advisedly, were involved, the sector minister will still go ahead and crack the whip. And so for the fact that there is that disposition, really, it's something I think the Ghanaian people should be very happy about, because regardless of who is involved, action will be taken.
Pakwasi, if you have to represent the activities of NAIMOS in a graph, what will that graph look like?
It's going to be a very fluid and progressive graph. Yes, there have been pockets of imperfections and interruptions here and there, but largely, if you were to paint the progress of NAIMOS graphically, you will see that it has just been on an upward surge and trajectory, because, like I said, you start from February, when NAIMOS came into force. 9 forest reserves had been encroached by armed illegal miners. All of those 9 have been repossessed. Occasionally, there are incursions into these forest reserves. NAIMOS goes back and then, clears the space for the country, if I have to put it that way. So, if you monitor all of that, plus the seizures that have taken place, the arrests that have been affected, the makeshift arrangements that consistently have been destroyed, I think it's a very progressive but imperfect graph. But hopefully from next year, looking at the resource pump that government is committing to NAIMOS, maybe we'll have a perfect graph that does not have any hitch whatsoever. So
then what long-term systems has the ministry put in place to ensure the fight against illegal mining is continuous and not seasonal?
Well, so if we look at all the policies that have been rolled out, even beyond this administration, you realize that they all are well intended, okay? Except that when governments change, the policy directions change. And so I do not think that any government can contemplate, a measure that would be all-encompassing, regardless of who is the president of the moment. Unless, of course, maybe the National Development Planning Commission or any other arrangement is made to create a binding policy that would affect all administrations. Otherwise, we'll be having we'll continue to have the varied interventions here and there. So the focus will rather be on the momentary results. If Party A is doing this and Party B comes and does otherwise, I think the emphasis should not be on what different the other party is doing, but the results that we are getting at the end of the day. For example, prior to now, in the past, we had Operation Vanguard and all of that. Now we have NAIMOS. In a way, we may want to say that they bear some, similarity. But if you examine their results carefully, you realize that NAIMOS has outdone any other thing that has been done in the past. So the emphasis should be on the results, really.
Okay, so you agree that many young people, depend on Galamsey for survival. So then how effective have the ministry's alternative livelihood and community mining programs been in 2025, and what evidence shows that they are reducing the incentive for illegal mining?
Community mining is the intervention that was rolled out in the erstwhile administration. What we are doing now is cooperative mining, which is materially very distinctive from community mining, in the sense that with community mining, what we had was that persons could even sit in Accra, they acquire the relevant permissions, and then they go into the mining communities, and then they begin without even the involvement and the participation of the locals. What we are doing now, however, is that we are bringing everybody on board. And just by way of evidential record, just last week, we launched one of the cooperatives at the Teluku, Bukazo, and Nia community in the western region. That is one of many. Indeed, the many would be rolled out somewhere in the mid part of February. That is the cooperatives. We are forming mining cooperatives, which basically involves the fact that you get a mining concession, get the locals, rally them, and then you put them into a cooperative for them to be working on those sites instead of going to areas that are not approved. So one has been launched. There is more in the offing, in addition to other additional employability opportunities like hairdressing and all the other economic ventures that would definitely discourage young people from venturing into the enterprise of illegal mining.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Pakwasi. Pakwasi Shandov is the Public Relations Officer of NAIMOS. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, the Ghana National Fire Service says that at least 20 domestic fires are recorded daily in Greater Accra during the Yuletide season. Chief Fire Officer Rashid Nisao adds that the service responds to dozens of such incidents every day this time of the year. To curb the risk, the fire service is taking its safety message to the streets. with the Paint Accra Red campaign, urging Ghanaians to make fire prevention everyone's responsibility. There's more in the following report.
Guys, oh my God. Within a day, if I'm not exaggerating, we can get like 20. Between 15
20?
to 20. Yes, between 15 to 20.
Wow.
Every day. Every day. Most of them are domestic, like homes, slum areas. We attend a lot of fires. Some of them are these ECG pools.
Right.
These ECG pools, the wooden ones, sometimes they catch fire, they call us, we come to extinguish them. So these are some of the fires. So that is what it is.
Now we now hear from Greater Accra Regional Fire Officer Chief Nisau, who says 20 fire incidents are recorded daily in the region.
I mean, minor fires. As for domestic fires, within a day, if I'm not exaggerating, we can get like 20. Between 15
20?
to 20. Yes, between 15 to 20.
Wow.
Every day. Every day. Most of them are domestic, like homes, slum areas. We attend a lot of fires. Some of them are these ECG pools.
Right.
These ECG pools, the wooden ones, sometimes they catch fire, they call us, we come to extinguish them. So these are some of the fires. So that is what it is.
You're still live on NewsDesk. Sheila Sechi will come back right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Now, government says it will soon expand prison facilities and legal aid services to address rising inmate populations and increasing number of Ghanaians in need of legal assistance across the country. The move follows renewed concerns over congestion at major correctional facilities, particularly the Nsawam medium security prison, where inmate numbers continue to exceed approved capacity. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Sremsai says the situation has become critical to maintaining peace, justice and social stability, stressing the need for urgent interventions. Dr. Sremsai, however, admits that the Legal Aid Commission continues to face significant challenges, especially inadequate funding, which limits its ability to operate effectively nationwide and provide timely support to vulnerable persons. Dr. Sremsai made the remarks in an exclusive interview with Stephen Mensah.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you have seen, our selection of the members of the governing board of the Legal Aid Commission is based on certain expectations. We have noticed that one of the biggest challenges that the governing board, the Legal Aid Commission has is funding. So we selected individuals who have track record in raising funds from civil society or international organization, human rights organization to back its activities. So you see, for example, we have Professor Raymond Tuguba. He has been at the forefront of human rights activism for over 2 decades. He couldn't achieve that by using his own pocket money. He raised millions of dollars to fund, to support the funding of the CRC, the Constitution Review Commission. I think about $6 million at the time. So, and the second person you see, Oliver Baka Vomao. So we carefully selected these people to address specific challenges that we know the Legal Aid Commission has been facing over the years. We hope and believe that they will be able to bring on board the necessary funding arrangements and programs to make the legal aid very successful. The other thing that we took into account, which is very essential in nominating the members of the governing board, is what we call proactivity or proactiveness of the commission. As I mentioned when I was giving my remarks, I made it clear that we often expect that when people need legal services and they do not have the means or the money to afford the services, they will approach the Legal Aid, Commission. That is good, but it is even better if the Legal Aid Commission can approach certain people who have been identified as needing legal service but do not have the means to. And if you look at the work that Oliver has been doing over the years, sometimes he offers legal service to persons who he identifies as persons in need of legal service. And that is exactly what we are trying to bring into the Legal Aid Commission. That some people may need legal service, they do not even know that they need legal services. You'll be shocked. They don't know that they need it. Some know they need it, but even how to approach the Legal Aid, Commission is something that they cannot even comprehend. So we are bringing proactiveness into the activities of the Legal Aid Commission. Apart from that, we have also identified one misconception about the legal aid. People think that legal aid is just about criminal, representing criminals or accused persons. Let me put it properly, accused persons. That is not the only thing that legal aid is designed to do. It's also designed to assist and aid persons who have civil claims. So, for example, if you have a constitutional matter, or you want to test the constitution, or you want to take a step to, you could actually, get the assistance of the Legal Aid Commission. There are people whose livelihood depend on labor matters. Some even, apart from labor or let's say employment matters, some even divorce, or they're in a situation where they will need legal service, but they don't have the means. So these are all things that the Legal Service, Legal Aid Commission could do. But again, because of lack of resources, they have to now limit their mandates, or by way of practice or administratively limit their mandate to representing accused persons. If we have the necessary funding and the human resource, we should be able to activate that side of legal aid where civil matters could also be represented. Like I mentioned, look, the truth of the matter is that when we say equality before the law, we mean equal access to the law. You are not equal before the law if you don't have money to go and hire a lawyer to represent you in a law court. So it is a very significant, a very important institution that we need to pay attention to, and that is exactly what this government, the government of President John Mahama, is intending to do, to make sure that as many people as possible are brought to the equal before the law. Now, the last one, which also goes back to equality before the law, is geography, coverage. Most of the lawyers, about 95% of the lawyers, are found in the urban areas. And when I say the urban, I'm not even talking of regional capital. I'm talking of Accra and Kumasi, and perhaps maybe Takrady. This is where you find all the lawyers. So what happened to the regions? Legal aid is one of the institutions that could, bridge the gap between the law and the individuals if we are able to expand to those the other parts of the country. So, and this all, you agree, depends on funding and strategy. So if you look at the membership of the governing board, you will see that we carefully choose them to help us achieve these goals.
It's interesting to talk about how you constituted the board, but then are you looking at also increasing the fund?
Government has a constant funding arrangement for the Legal Aid Commission. Of course, like all the other agencies, the government fund them. But you also know that government's money is always, so many people are struggling to get a share of the government money. So it is not enough to do all the wonderful things that the Legal Aid Commission could do. And that is why, so there's a budget, they present a budget, the budget is often approved by Parliament. The last budget was approved recently. So they will get the allocation after appropriation and all that. But that money clearly is not enough to do the things that I've mentioned that they have to do. And that is why we think that we need some extra way of raising funds to support or to supplement what government is giving to the board.
I want to take you back on the Legal Aid mandate also. From my last visit to the Legal Aid Commission, we noticed some challenges they were having with transitioning from the manual system to the analog to the digital system also. problems with their infrastructure also. How are you looking to resolve some of these challenges also?
Yes, so they have a plan. The Legal Aid Commission, the executive director, they have a plan of improving on this, like you mentioned, this digitalization and all that. They have all those plans, and it all goes back to the issue of funding. So it's not it's not easy to raise funds for things like this, and that is why we have acknowledged that taxpayers' money alone would not be enough to deal with this problem, and so we need to look elsewhere. And the law allows the Commission to raise funds by other means beyond the taxpayers' money that we use, to raise funds from donor sources, international organizations that are doing some of these things already.
I'd want to ask you about the prison service. My last visit to the Nsawam prison, it's interesting. You've increased the budgetary allocation for. Oh no, it's Ministry of Interior. No, but it's all linked to the legal service also.
I understand,
yeah, our visit to the Nsawam prison, I was also with the Legal Aid Commission also, and some of the challenges with some of the inmates we spoke to was that they've been there for quite some time, and they've not had any response as to help. They were not helped by these legal aids, the lawyers themselves also. Are you looking to expand some of these services they are doing also? And what's your plan with the Interior Ministry too? We've ended the 2025 year. Next year, are we looking at expansion of prison service? Are we looking at helping to reduce the numbers in the prisons also?
Yes, so a couple of things are underway. The first one, there's something called non-custodial sentences, where instead of sentencing the person to be in custody in the prisons, the person will be ordered to perform community service. That will reduce the number of people who are in the prison, and therefore decongesting the prison, the prisons. That is one thing that we are doing. The other thing is, as you mentioned, some of the people who find themselves in prison have not actually been properly convicted. Some of them are remand prisoners who have been there for so long that the police service couldn't, afford keeping them in the police cells, and therefore have to be, transferred to the prison. So, and there's a program in place. I don't know if you've seen Access to Justice, where persons who are on remand, their cases could be heard. Judges will now move to the courtroom, the prison to, that work. So that's also another way of trying to decongest, the prisons. And then one of the other one you mentioned is, okay, I've already dealt with that. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we are doing. But again, I know you are aware that the prison service has a plan to build new prison and renovate existing ones. So these are all things that we are doing to ensure that conviction does not mean indirect way of sentencing you to death, because the fact that you have committed a crime and have been convicted doesn't mean that you shouldn't. You are entitled to some basic fundamental human right that Ghanaians are. So your conviction is not to say that you are not entitled to live. Minimum comfort is necessary. So these are some of the things that we are working on.
My last question. We've ended the 2025 year. What has been your remarkable achievement in the year?
So, in terms of me which of the?
If assume this is
5 boards.
Yeah, this is your,
so which one
this is your first year upon assumption of office. What has been your challenges and what's your achievements? I'd want you to enumerate on your challenges and your achievements.
You are not understanding it.
Okay.
So is it as me personally, or as the ministry, or as any of the agencies that
no.
Which one?
Hopefully we could take it from.
You hear me say that I have another meeting at 4.
Oh no, we are done. This is the last question.
No, wait. Let me just tell them to.
Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Chief Executive of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has disclosed that plans are far advanced for the Pempet, the first international airport, to receive international travels from neighboring West African airlines. Richard Ofori-Agyemang noted that the government is meeting with officials from Nigeria Airlines to make at least a day's flight to the airport. Speaking at the climax of the 50th anniversary of the Ghana Hotels Association in the Ashanti region, Mr. Agyemang urged hoteliers to revamp their services to accommodate international visitors to boost the local hospitality economy. More in this report.
Standardizing our work.
The dinner and awards ceremony of the Ghana Hotels Association assembled some of Ashanti region's top hospitality companies to feast and reflect on achievements and challenges of the sector. The event climaxed the series of activities earmarked for the association's 50 years of existence in promoting quality service delivery in the hospitality sector. Speaking at the event, Kumasi Mayor Richard Ofori-Agyemang hinted at plans for the local aviation sector to receive international travels from neighboring West African countries. Against this backdrop, he admonished the group to uphold and revamp their operations to offer standard hospitality services to visitors.
We are having discussion with some airlines. You know, there's a huge Nigerian population in Ghana, and we are having discussion just so we can have at least one day flight, a specific day flight every week towards to Nigeria. And we're having discussions, and I believe that very soon we'll frame it up. But it will all depend on our preparedness, and hotels play an important role in that. Once we have hotels who are ready, you know, to accept the numbers and then to accommodate them in an acceptable condition, then it means that the market is ready.
Ashanti Regional Chairperson of the Association, George Akumensa, highlighted strategic efforts to revitalize the sector.
The members for improvement in our activities, especially standardizing our work and trying to meet the standards of outside world so that we'll be able to attract foreigners and others into our various hotels. And really, it's really worked. And we've really increased the membership too from almost about 30% of the members of Ashanti hotels are members of the association. It also needs substantial investments in most of the hotels, upgrading it from budget 1-star to 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. And we are praying that we'll get a 5-star hotel in Ashanti.
Meanwhile, the hoteliers continue to drum home challenges plaguing the sector, including cumbersome taxes, which impact operational costs. Victor Opokuminta is the general manager of the Coconut Grove Beach Resort.
Well, I think the challenge of hoteliers is not limited to just the Ashanti region. I'm from the central region, and the hotels across the country face similar burdens that the hotels in the Ashanti region face. So if you talk about multiplication of taxes, regulatory duplications, it cuts across. If you look at the taxes, currently, anytime somebody pays 1,000 cedis for an accommodation unit or a room in a hotel in Ghana, 22% is taxes. If you look at it from that angle, you realize, that is why hoteliers are complaining.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
The Solutions has predicted that the share of electricity used in buildings in Ghana will increase from 17% to 19.2% by 2034. This increase is mainly due to rapid urban growth and higher incomes, which are leading greater use of electrical appliances and services. This report has more details.
According to the UK-based firm, major markets such as Nigeria, South Africa and Ghana will see strong absolute growth in electricity consumption, with Nigeria's building sector demand rising by 28.9% over the decade. It, however, cautioned that grid instability remains a significant constraint. Fish Solutions said frequent outages, high transmission and distribution losses, and slow grid investment are limiting further electrifications, especially in peri-urban and rural areas. The report said as urban population expands, sub-Saharan African urbanization rate will exceed 40% by 2034, while demand for modern energy services, including cooling, will outpace grid reliability improvements. Fish Solutions warned that without substantial investment in transmission and distribution infrastructure, electricity access gains will be uneven, with the bioenergy and other traditional sources continuing to fill the gap for most households.
All right, and that's it for business. Handing you back to Sheila. 2 days to end the year. What are your plans?
Well, to be here.
Come on.
Planning now, right?
Travel.
Planning now.
Maybe visit Kumasi or something.
Well, that's all for NewsDesk this morning. My name is Sheila Sechi. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. We're just 2 days away from 2026.